Want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
The FDA has given emergency authorization to the first coronavirus test that allows people to collect their own samples at home using a nasal swab before mailing it off to a lab for analysis. FDA Commissioner Stephen Hahn tells Fox News this is a great breakthrough.
This is a really great development and another example of the partnership between the federal government, FDA, and lab developers. What this does is it allows for home self-collection under certain conditions. LabCorp is the company that developed this. The data show us that the test is accurate and that this can be safely done at home. So really quick and easy and a nice approach for someone to stay at home and do this. Less risk to healthcare professionals because they don't have to be the ones putting the swab in the person's nose.
And of the 4.4 million Americans filing for first-time jobless claims last week, the biggest increases were in Colorado, New York, Missouri, Florida, and North Carolina. This is USA Radio News.
Working from home? I'm Chad Dodd, veterinarian and consultant to Limp Bells. Here are some tips for keeping your dog fit while staying at home. Find 15 minutes twice a day and walk your pet at a decent pace around your place. Play hide and seek by hiding some kibble or favorite toys and letting your dog find them. If you have stairs and your dog is mobile, walk up and down twice a day for 5 to 10 minutes. Or better yet, try a power walk on your terrace or backyard for some fresh air. There are more helpful pet care tips at youmove.com, spelled YOUMOVE.com.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is calling on China to allow inspectors into sensitive laboratories like the Wuhan facility amid concerns over the source of the coronavirus pandemic. USA Radio Network's John Clemens reports.
Secretary Pompeo says these facilities are still open in China as research continues.
These labs are still open inside of China. These labs that contain complex pathogens that were being studied. It's not just the Wuhan Institute of Virology. There are multiple labs inside of China that are handling these things. It's important that those materials are being handled in a safe and secure way.
China continues to refuse to share samples of the original virus known scientifically as SARS-CoV-2.
We still do not have a sample of the virus, nor has the world had access to the facilities or other locations where this virus may have originated inside of Wuhan.
I'm John Clemens.
The Cincinnati Bengals are on the clock for the first ever virtual NFL draft after the league did a virtual test run earlier this week. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell tells ABC's Good Morning America what the draft means as he will be announcing the selections from his home.
The draft has always been about hope, but this year, with all that's going on in our society and around the globe, we need more experiences together, and that's what the NFL does.
The draft was originally scheduled to be held in Las Vegas. For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
The following is an America Matters Media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Welcome to this evening's episode of Rush Hour. I am your host, Kelly Rush, and we are a production of America Matters Media, the home of quality conversation. You can check us out on the web at americamatters.us. That's americamatters.us. We are also on Facebook at facebook.com/Reno Rush Hour. That's also my Twitter handle. You can follow me there, like me on Facebook. And we're also on YouTube. Gosh, multimedia broadcast sensations here. And this is an interactive program. We really want to have you join us because this is the special month episode, which is my favorite. It's the Dennis Patterson, Dr. Dennis Patterson episode. So we'll get to that in just a second. But this is an interactive program, so call us toll free from anywhere in the world, 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Or you can drop us a line in the Facebook Watch Party comments section. So as I said, this is Dr. Dennis Patterson is my special guest from Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists, and you can go to nvadvancedpain.com, nvadvancedpain.com. right?
That's correct.
And that's the website with all the information of how to reach them. And Doctor, welcome to the set.
Hey, thanks, Kelly. Wonderful to see you. I always love coming here once a month. What is it, the third Thursday of the month?
Third Thursday of every month, and this is our third one since we started this. And this was initially an experiment.
Yes,
that,
it was.
We've started as the third. Do you think we'll continue?
Dee roped me into it, and I love it. I think we're going to continue this.
Awesome.
And if I may throw this in there as well, we may get a call today.
Oh.
I don't know if your office has got it yet, but this show, I mean, not only do we get you into radio, and of course you become a huge personality on the video stream, but I know that we've also got you a new patient. I don't know how many have come in from this show, but a very good friend of mine, Gary, may call today.
Okay, good.
If he doesn't call on the air to ask a couple of questions, he's definitely calling your office because he specifically asked me about you. And
Nice.
so he has some issues, and it might even be along the line of the topic today, because when I heard we were talking about what I call ass fat, I don't know what it really is. I thought, well, hey, So anyway, hopefully he'll call, but he is listening.
Good.
And I know that you picked up a patient who's been listening to the show because he's got some neck vertebrae issues, and so See, so we not only get you on the radio, we try to get you some new customers as well.
Hey, I love it. More than happy.
Well, and that's really the point is not customers. I mean, but it's getting people information on really quality of life.
Yes,
correct.
Whether that's getting out of pain, whether that's learning how to integrate, how to learn more about your body and how to exist with it in this world better, just how it works, how your body works.
And one thing that Dr. Patterson did that not everybody's able to do, and he shared this a few months ago, which allows this. People don't have to spend money on copays to get into his office because you now take you take people, they call, make an appointment.
Correct.
They don't have to be referred by somebody else. Like
Correct.
years ago I had to be. And so in this case, there's a perfect case of where somebody is able to make consult, come in and talk to you, see what you can do. And that is a really good thing. Because sometimes, in my case, I had to have 3 appointments. There was 3 copays before I could even get into Dr. Patterson's office.
Oh, right.
And now I, can go direct.
Sure. So that's again, it's not about the money. It's about the body. And
Sure.
This is what I love about Dr. Patterson, the biopsychosocial model.
Correct.
So please explain what that is, first of all.
So the biopsychosocial model is all about treating the patient comprehensively. So a lot of patients will come in with an issue. Let's say it's an ankle injury. You can focus on just treating the ankle, or you can focus on treating the whole patient. And we concentrate on treating the whole patient. Your ankle does hurt, but what happens with that? It leads to immobility. Immobility leads to probably some anxiety or depression since you're not able to do things you enjoy doing, which then leads to a poor quality of life. And so not only do we have to need to treat the ankle, but we need to treat the emotions and the feelings that go along with that ankle. And so we can do that by having you see a behavioral health therapist who can help with depression symptoms. I can help with certain interventions to help the ankle. And then we've got a physical therapist that can help you increase your activity or work on your biomechanics to get you back to doing what you love in life. And so we treat the patient from all angles, medical, physical, and health, and mental health wise.
Mm-hmm. And, you'll get people, typically the okay boomer, the generation I call them, the older, and not just baby boomers. There's that term, okay boomer. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I've heard that term.
But the old, the anybody that has an unshiftable mindset is
Correct.
really what that is. That'll go, oh, it's that woo-woo crap, or that emotional, the feelings crap, or whatever. But it's holistic is really what it is. It's treating the 360.
Correct. There's a mind-body connection. When you have a mental or a physical body issue, they go together, and you have to treat both. You just can't treat one over the other.
Mm-hmm. And I think the more we learn about that, the more we understand that, and the more we accept that, I think it's the acceptance piece that once we get to that, the more it works.
Correct.
And you're living proof. And your practice is living proof, and your patients are the living proof.
That is true.
D being one of them.
That is correct.
Yep, absolutely. And the mind, the mind can, and I know you guys help patients figure this out. The mind could be telling you that the ankle is worse than what maybe it is, but at the same time, it could be suppressing it, and you could have a lot more issues there, and your mind just saying everything is fine. I was told for years by the military, you just pulled a muscle, you're fine. You just and they found out it was not that. So the mind can definitely convince you.
Isn't it crazy how that duality can happen? Your mind can be telling you there's nothing there while suppressing something there.
Correct.
Both things are killing you.
Correct.
Right? It's both negative. So we've got to go to our first break. We'll be back for the second segment of today's Third Thursday, my favorite Thursday, the Nevada Advanced Pain Specialist episode with Dr. Dennis Patterson here on the Rush Hour. After these messages, stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Patterson. I'm the founder and owner of Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists. At Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists, we take a comprehensive approach to treating patients with chronic pain in the greater Reno, Tahoe area. We believe in the biopsychosocial model. This means we use multiple disciplines such as massage therapy, physical therapy, behavioral health, and medical treatments to treat your chronic pain. A plan of care is tailor-made for each individual patient. We always recommend conservative care first, but offer minimally invasive treatments when necessary. We are your one-stop shop. If it hurts, we can help. We pride ourselves in providing passionate care and making you feel welcome and understood. We are located in Reno and in Sparks, so give us a call to schedule a new patient consult at 284-8650. Again, that's 284-8650. Or visit our website at nvadvancedpain.com. We hope you choose Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists to be your center for injury rehabilitation. nvadvancedpain.com, 284-8650.
Would you like to increase your vitality? Disease develops within your body when the metabolic vitality of your cells is altered. Well, now there is a patented device that improves cell metabolism called Cell Vital. Cell Vital has been used for years by successful athletes to prepare for competition and improve performance. This is because Cell Vital increases blood and oxygen to your cells. Call 702-444-LUCKY and order your Cell Vital today. Cell Vital can help with cell regeneration after an activity by reducing stress, as well as be used for treating bruises, sprains, and muscle aches and pains. Cell Vital has also been shown to be beneficial for digestion, PMS, and smoking cessation. Get lucky with your health and call 702-444-5825. Accessories are available to help with specific body parts, such as the eyes, ears, and teeth. Animals, too, can benefit from Cell Vital for bone, joint, and circulation disorders. Call 702-444-LUCKY and get a free quote for your Cell Vital. That number again is 702-444-5825.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is Oliver X. Join me and the superstar Janez Carter weekday mornings from 8 to 9 on the Reno Todd Tonight Show on America Matters Media.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the second segment of today's Rush Hour. This is the Third Thursday edition with Nevada Advanced Pain Specialist, nvadvancedpain.com. That's nvadvancedpain.com is the website with all the incredible information about Dr. Dennis Patterson and his practice. And we are talking today, the topic is migraines. And if anybody suffers from those like I do, they are miserable. Miserable. And tell us what a migraine really is, because that's a specific thing. People, I'm sure, there are people who've said, oh, migraines, that have said they suffer from them that really don't. They've had cluster headache, or they've had a bad headache that they've said is a migraine that really isn't. What qualifies a migraine as a migraine?
So to be diagnosed with a migraine, you have to meet certain symptoms. And essentially what they are is it's got to be unilateral. It's got to be moderate to severe in intensity. And then on top of that, it has to be aggravated usually by activity. And then they can have other symptoms. So it's with or without what's called an aura. If you have an aura, then you're going to have photophobia, like you can't look at lights. You can have nausea. You can have vomiting, or you can be real sensitive to sounds. And so any combination of those things, well, the first symptoms obviously will tell you if you do or do not have a migraine, and then it's, do you have auras or do you not have auras?
And so what's unilateral, first of all?
Unilateral means that it's on one side of your head. So normally when the symptoms come on, you feel it either on the left or the right side. It's usually, a migraine typically isn't on both sides. In certain cases it can, but for the most part, it's usually one side or the other.
What about up here?
Oh, yeah.
Can it be on, because I call mine skull cap. Sometimes
Correct.
I get mine right here on the top too.
Okay. Well
okay. So I'm like, don't tell me I've had this my whole life and it's not been a migraine. And what about time length? Like it lasts for days, or does that count too?
Most migraines, they could last for a couple hours. They could last for days. It varies person to person. And typically when we look at migraine, we don't know if it's first thing when you evaluate a patient, you want to find out, is this more of an episodic or is it more of a chronic condition? And those are two different diagnoses. And based off of the diagnosis, you can offer them certain treatments. And so an episodic migraine means that a patient has less than 8 episodes a month, or less than 15 a month, I guess is what you'd say.
Okay.
And that means less than 8 migraine days a month. Now, a patient who has chronic migraines, they're going to have greater than 15 days of migraines or of headaches or migraines a month, but 8 of those or greater have to be actual migraines. So it's interesting when you meet a patient. Sometimes I'll talk to them and I'll be like, well, how many days or headaches or migraine days do you have a month? And they'll say 10. And then if I reverse the question and I say, hey, how many pain-free days do you have? They'll say, oh, 3. And I'm like, well, wait a sec. You just said that you have 10 painful days a month, but that you're only, so what's interesting about migraine patients is, they always are used to dealing with pain. They just don't count the minor episodes as headache or migraine days, even though they are actual headache or migraine days.
Right.
And so you have to kind of reverse the question. So in that case, that patient who's only had 3 pain-free days a month, they're going to fit in the chronic migraine category, and I'm going to look at specific treatments for that. Now, if they truly only did have, the headaches or migraines 7 or 8 days a month, then they'd fit in the episodic category, and I'd look at different treatments for them.
Huh. Interesting. And let's talk about different types of treatments and what you would consider in different cases and why.
So in the episodic, usually I'm thinking, episodic and chronic, I'm thinking, what are acute rescue medications that I can utilize for this patient? So if they get an aura, usually an aura is a telltale sign that a migraine is about to occur, or if they start to feel, if they don't get auras and they start to feel the pain coming on, what medication can they take to try to abort or avoid the migraine from getting full blown? And over the years, we've had a lot of medications that have helped out. They've all been used for other conditions, and we've kind of used them off-label to treat migraines. But it wasn't until the 90s when the triptan medications came out that were specifically meant for aborting migraines. And you know what? Thank goodness for modern medicine. 30 years later, we now have a new class of breakthrough medications on the market. They are called the Gepants. And there's one
what?
The Gepants.
I
have no idea where they came up with that.
Is that like PANTS?
The
That's what it sounds like.
but what they're targeting is the CGRP molecule. And what we found back in actually the late 80s, that if you took a patient and you drew off their blood and you would look for neurotransmitters in the blood, you'd see that there would be none before a migraine. But once they had a migraine, you'd redraw the blood and they saw that there was this molecule called a CGRP.
Okay.
And so they knew that when patients were having migraines, they suspected, hey, this is elevated in their blood. We think this is potentiating the migraines. So then what they did is they made that molecule, or took it, and concentrated it, took patients who suffered from migraines, injected in their blood, and what they found is that those patients within minutes had a migraine. So they knew this molecule had to be part of the pain process. And so they've been trying to develop a drug for 20, 30 years now, and they finally made it to the market. The first class was a set of injections last year, which I gave you some information on. Those are more of the preventive side, but for the acute ones, it's this new drug from Allergan. It was the first to market. It's called Ubrelvy, or Urogepant. And so this is now a new medication that patients can take to try to abort a migraine. And what we've seen is that patients with triptans over the years have been, patients with cardiovascular disease, they can't take that type of medication.
See, that's what I take. Yeah. I take, and I don't have that issue, so they're fine for me.
So it's
and
fine
it
for
works,
you.
So.
Yeah. And the other thing that we found is that 50% of patients who are on a triptan take it because it doesn't work or they have side effects from it. And so it's kind of nice now to have another option to try.
Absolutely.
And so Ubrelvy actually can be used in conjunction with triptans, or they can be used separately.
And is this an oral medication?
It's an oral medication that you can carry on you, and at the moment you have symptoms, the studies show that you can take it from the time you have symptoms up to 4 hours into the symptoms, that it can abort migraines during that period of time.
And it doesn't have the cardiovascular effects.
And it doesn't have the cardiovascular side effects. So patients with cardiovascular issues can take this medication safely.
CYP3A4 inhibitor. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's really, see, and I love this stuff because me being genetically immune system compromised, like genetics and expression and that's, I'm real into this stuff. Like I've studied this kind of stuff just because I'm a dork. And so
and if you have migraines, you're going to look into it.
Well, and migraine, and I have participated in research since I was little. Like if there were, not little, but since I was able to, since I was, but young, I mean, 18, and a young adult. If there were studies, I'd sign up.
Correct.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, why not? Help science.
Help science.
Help other humans.
I don't have kids. There was nothing to risk. I had nothing to lose. Why not? And so I've always been fascinated by this kind of thing. So I think this is great. 30 years, nothing new in 30 years.
Nothing new in 30 years as far as new class of medications to abort migraines until this year.
And
the triptans in 1992 were the last medication.
And I remember Maxalt.
Yeah.
I remember because Imitrex did not work for me back then.
Yeah.
So when Maxalt came out, it was a game changer for me.
Correct.
Imitrex now does, because Maxalt was damn expensive. I think it still is, actually.
Yeah.
And so that was great, and I'm good with Imitrex now. But
and you actually raise a good point. So a lot of times when patients come to see me and I'm treating their migraines, they'll tell me, "God, doc, why are you only giving me 8 or 10 of these pills a month?" And it's not my restriction; that's an insurance restriction.
I can only get 9.
Correct. So that's what's nice now is the patients who are taking these medications, when they run out and they're paying cash for them, or they just got to hold off until they can get their refill. This is another medication you can take. So now you can have your 10 pills of your triptan, and you can have 10 pills of the Ubrelvy a month.
So
correct.
That's it. And how much does it suck that you have to play these games?
Exactly.
With the insurance company but hey, you got to do what you got. If they're going to put the game in front of you, sit down and play.
Exactly.
Whatever. That's the way it is. So if that's the system, then you play it. So, but cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
No, so it's great stuff. And a lot of patients that I've been seeing over the last couple of months and letting them try this, they're loving it. And it's making a huge difference in their daily disability.
Absolutely. And I'm, like I said, I'm excited for the cardiac folks.
Yeah.
Because it's a
game changer.
It's a game changer because migraine, cardiac, a lot high blood pressure. I mean, think of the chain of command there that causes a lot of these same issues.
Correct.
So that's excellent. Good job. What was the company?
Oh, Allergan.
Allergan. Good job, Allergan. They're a good company.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we people bag on big pharma and this and that. A lot of the problems that we bag on big pharma for aren't necessarily big pharma's fault.
Yeah.
I mean, again, chain of command. A
lot of restrictions.
There are
in this
a lot of
country
restrictions
with bringing drugs to market
that follow the money.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the big bad industry we blame. We talk about they and them and the government and the big pharma. We are they too. I mean, it's just people. So if we, I think we can, demonize a lot of this stuff, and I think we're getting to a point to where we're fixing a lot of this stuff, and it's getting good. And these are the results. And yay, Allergan. Yay, Ubrelvy. Yay, no more headaches. So we got to go to another break. We'll be back for the second half of today's Rush Hour with Nevada Advanced Pain Specialist and Dr. Dennis Patterson. After these messages, stay tuned.
It's sweet. There's no place like it. And as we all know, it's where the heart is. Home. It matters. I'm Grant Brewer with Home at Last, a housing program of Nevada Rural Housing Authority. Join me and expert guests every Tuesday at 4 p.m. on KCKQ 1180 for Home Matters, a show dedicated to all things, home. Each week I chat with the industry's best, lenders, real estate professionals, builders, insurance experts, home inspectors, developers, and specialized housing program experts. They grace the mic and we dig into today's hot housing topics. Tune in to Home Matters each Tuesday at 4 p.m. at 1180 a.m. KCKQ, the home of community radio. Or listen live and listen again online at americamatters.us. Join us.
Welcome to my house. It's my house.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In '95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In '05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in '09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
1 in 3 adults in America have prediabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Here's 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ,
a Lotus broadcast station.
The power of radio since 1967.
Want to expand your advertising dollar? Sponsor this or any America Matters program by calling 775-827-8900, extension 2. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the second half of today's Rush Hour, the Nevada Advanced Pain Specialist Edition with Dr. Dennis Patterson. Go to nvadvancedpain.com. nvadvancedpain.com is the website. And, if you have any kind of pain, we're talking about migraines today, but I don't care what it is. If you have any kind of pain, I really encourage you to just get in touch with Dr. Patterson's office, nvadvancedpain.com, nvadvancedpain.com, and it's a free consultation. So you got nothing to lose. And if they can't help you, they will refer you and get you to the resources that can. But I have a feeling they can help you because they have over 37 different protocols with their biopsychosocial model to help you with your quality of life. But we're talking about migraines today, both preventative and acute rescue, different types of therapies, and the GPANT type. So we have Beth on the line who tried a different type of GPANT. Go ahead, Beth. Tell us your experience.
Yes, hi, thank you. I am a chronic migraine sufferer my whole life, and I was recently given one of these products. It wasn't the one that doctor spoke of. It's a product called Nurtec ODT. I have it here, and it was dissolved on the tongue, and it was the first time in my life I've taken anything but a triptan, and I have to say it worked fantastic. It helped my migraine, and I didn't get the side effects. So I was just asking Dr. Patterson if there was a difference between the one he was speaking of and this one, or if because they're the same, I think he called it the class, the rimegepant class, that they work the same.
That is correct.
And that was my curiosity.
Yeah, so they're both blocking the CGRP molecule from, they can either block the molecule itself or the receptor that it binds to. And you're right, this class of medications is called the GPANTs, and they all pretty much work the same. You just got different manufacturers or companies that have come to market with them. Allergan was the first, and it looks like the one you're taking is Biohaven, which was probably a few weeks after Allergan's came to market. And so I think structurally what you'll find is people's genetics are going to respond differently to different medications. Just like you may have taken one triptan in the past that didn't do you much good, and you switched to another and it seemed to give you better relief. And I think it just comes down to your genetic makeup. But you did point out something earlier that I just wanted to highlight for other people is kind of what I was saying earlier. A lot of people don't like taking their triptans or avoid taking them because of side effects. And it sounds like you're having side effects from taking your triptans. Is that correct?
Yes, like I say, it's the only treatment I've ever been able to take, of course, but you were always trying to decide if you wanted to take your meds or if you wanted to, you'd be out for the day, or if you had to work, you had to push through. And so my doctor very quickly, when she got samples, called me because, you really want something that you can take to get rid of your headache, but that you can continue to go about your day.
Correct. And a lot of patients...
Yeah, if I never had to take a triptan again and I could just take, this Nurtec product, I would be so happy.
Yeah, and so triptans are known to cause somnolence and make it so that patients are unable to function. So you're exactly right. You take the medication, you don't have a migraine, but yet you're tired and can't do what you need to do. Or do you deal with the pain and lay down and, wait for the migraine to go away so you can do what you can do? It's kind of between a rock and a hard place, correct?
Correct. And I was just so excited to hear you on the radio and hear about, I wanted to share my experience too, because it was like, wow, this is really neat that they've come up with these new treatments.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think, when I started my career 10 years ago in private practice, I was always told graduating that migraine patients are the ones you wanted to avoid because you really had nothing much to offer them. And it's just amazing the different treatments that have come over the last decade, because now we're able to, use preventative medications to prevent the onset of migraines. And now we've got new medications that we give to present, to get migraines to go away even when they do occur. So it's amazing what's happened.
Yes, we thought we were forgotten out here, and so it's really nice to know. And you can take something, you don't need a glass of water, you don't need anything. You just grab it from your purse, and it melts right on your tongue. So it was really awesome for me. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, Beth.
We appreciate you, Beth, and good health to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so so we're talking about the acute rescue medications. With migraines, so if somebody, let's say, they're having the onset, they're taking their 10 pills a month that they get of either their triptan or their Gepant, and they continue to have migraines and they're not getting enough medication, then we want to look at, how can we prevent the onset of migraines?
Mm-hmm.
And so you got two different classes of medications for that. You've got just last year another self-injection of the CGRP class of medications. There's three of them that come to market. One is Aimovig, another one's Ajovy, and another one's Emgality. And what they are is a self-injection once a month that you do, and they basically block those CGRP molecules for an entire month and can help out. The other one, which has been around, and it was the first FDA-approved prophylactic treatment for the prevention of migraines, was Botox. Everybody's favorite thing, for plastic surgery,
Well, that
right?
was such a big thing when it first came out for that. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, for migraines,
Exactly.
wink, wink, nudge, nudge." But it's true.
It's an amazing drug, and that one's every 3 months. Patients come into the physician injects them. We do 7 muscle groups around the head and neck area. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes, and I can tell you what the either one or both of those medications combined is outstanding. And in patients who have chronic migraines where they have greater than 15 days a month, will end up probably only having 1 or 2 episodes a month where now their triptan works or their new Gepant can help them out with those few acute breakthroughs that they have.
Wow. Yeah. See, I should really look into that because I never have, just because I figured with the expense and all that, I didn't know if my insurance would even cover it.
Yeah, a lot of insurances, especially with the Botox, since it's been around for a decade now, it's very well covered by a lot of insurances. They've got so many studies that show that it helps out. And on top of it, Kelly, it makes everybody look younger. Everybody loves it.
Right. Now, where all do the injections go?
Yeah,
Does
you
it go
said in the
into
muscle groups. But
Right.
What,
So there's 31 injection sites actually, and a lot of times when I talk to my patients, I try to avoid saying that because when somebody hears 31 injections, they're like, "You're going to do what?"
No, and see, let's put that to bed as well. First of all, I give myself 2 shots a week because I'm with my chronic illnesses, I have to I take methotrexate for my arthritis.
Yeah.
People think, oh, needles. They're these tiny, weeny, teeny little gauge. You don't feel a darn thing. I mean, people have this fear of needles. I don't know where you watch too many movies, folks. Where you saw, Bugs Bunny with this big old thing when you were a kid.
If I stood across the room and I took that needle out that I use for the Botox, patients probably couldn't even see it. It's the smallest needle. It's a 30 gauge needle, and it's a ½ inch long. And the injection only goes a millimeter or 2 underneath the skin.
And I think what people think is the blood draw.
Correct.
The old school blood draw.
That's a bigger cannula needle, and
that's
much
not
more
what it
intimidating.
is. It's this tiny little. What is it? The 19? Is it a 19 or a 29 or what's
It's
the
a 30,
point?
30 gauge, and
Is
it's
it
a ½
0.3?
inch.
Yeah, it's tiny, weeny. But when you're getting any kind of injection nowadays, first of all, when was the last time you got a shot? People forget that it was when they were tiny. You don't feel a thing anymore.
I got to ask again, the muscle groups.
Yeah, so they're pretty straightforward. So you've got what I'd call treating the 11s, where people squish
Right
the
here,
four
these.
together.
These things.
So that's your
okay.
corrugator and your procerus muscles there. The frontalis, which is your forehead. As you can probably see, mine's pretty paralyzed.
Yeah, mine you can see real well right here. My resting bitch face muscles.
Yeah, so those are the corrugators and procerus. Then you do the frontalis, which is the forehead. Then you do the temporalis muscles, which are on the side of the head. You do the occipitalis, which is the back part of the head. Upper cervical muscles, or cervical paraspinals. And then you do the traps, kind of in the shoulder area.
You put a little bit in every spot, or
you
find a spot that
you inject the same amount. So it's called the preempt paradigm, which it went through 2 clinical studies, showed clinical benefit through the FDA testing. And so you're doing 5 units of Botox over at each one, 31 injection sites. So it's a total of 155 units of Botox every visit.
And that's every 3 months.
Every 3 months.
I mean, you can only do so much with botulinum toxins. You're not going to.
I know, and that's the other thing. Like a lot of patients fear, like, oh, it's a toxin, but God, it's such a small. It sounds like a lot. 155 units sounds like a lot, but if you're treating somebody with spasticity or cervical dystonias or other conditions that benefit from Botox, you're using much higher levels.
Oh yeah.
So the 155 units is very little. It usually causes no side effects.
Just to stop this is 35 units that you need just to get rid of these horrible wrinkles right here. So.
And what is Botox?
It's botulinum toxin. It's rotten pork. Rotten pork. It's
a paralytic agent.
Okay.
Bacteria. Rotten pork bacteria.
So they make it. I mean, they actually make it. It's not a natural thing. It's something they make and
correct.
Yeah. It's a vial of.
I guess something that's rotten.
Well, no, I mean, I'm being dramatic.
Grade.
It's no. Oh, of course. I'm just at its base level, it's a bacteria.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
But botulinum toxin is the clinical. I mean, at its base. But no, I mean, clinically, it's this perfect, wonderful thing that we need in.
But it's the fat, or it lasts longer than any of the other pills or anything. I mean, you get an injection, 3 months.
Yeah, after the break, I'll explain that to you, how they can all work together.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, it's fabulous stuff. I need it. We've got to go to a break. We'll be back for the fourth and final segment of today's Nevada Advanced Pain Specialist Migraine Edition after these messages. Stay tuned.
It's your worldwide invite to Charbecue, the Butcher's Kitchen. Perfection in tri-tip, rib tips, and brisket. Rotisserie chicken with the white sauce. All hardwood smoked. Old world sausage aged to perfection. Wood smoke fire. Charbecue, the Butcher's Kitchen. 7689 South Virginia. Call in and pick up dinner. Charbecue, the Butcher's Kitchen. Get in and get real.
Ready for a live game of Clue? For nearly 30 years, Funtime Theaters held private and monthly dinner murder mysteries. Each night is different, and each event includes dinner and a show. You're the detective, and your job is to figure out who did what to who and why. At the end of the night, a super sleuth and not so super sleuth are awarded prizes. This is a great event for a birthday or holiday party and team building events for your office. Visit funtimetheater.com to make your reservations and use promo code RADIO for $5 off each admission.
Hi, this is Eddie Floyd. Let me tell you about my favorite non-profit public charity, Wainema Wild Horse Sanctuary, located on the Forsyth Ranch in Hallelujah Junction area. And please go to www.wainemaranch.com. That's WYNEMA ranch.com.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay. Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ.
A Lotus broadcast station.
The power of radio since 1967.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the fourth and final segment of today's Rush Hour. And this is the Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists' third Thursday of the month edition. My very favorite Thursday of the month. And I've got Dr. Dennis Patterson with me at nvadvancedpain.com, nvadvancedpain.com. And we've got, of course, Dee Gregory with us, who introduced me to Dr. Patterson all those months ago. Gosh, it's been over a year now, well over a year.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's been almost exactly a year.
Yeah.
Because we did a couple of shows, like a Volume 1, Volume 2 type thing.
Right,
People
and then came up with this idea with just Jeff. How is Jeff doing, by the way?
Jeff is doing great. I think he's locked in his home right now.
Right.
we were texting earlier today.
Oh,
Jeff
yeah.
and I was texting. He goes, what's the topic today? I'm like, well, I'm not really sure right now, but we'll find out. Yeah, no, he's probably, I'm sure, locked down, hanging out.
I also want to give a shout out to Nicole Mongelli, who is your Director of Marketing, who set this up as well, and Raj. You have such a fabulous staff. I just got to give them a big shout out.
I'm very fortunate. They're wonderful people. I love hanging out with them. I would do anything for any of them.
And I think vice versa. And, you know, that, again, just speaks to your practice. It speaks to the way you do business. It speaks to your practice model, again, the biopsychosocial model that you work with. And again, we speak about this every month, about this is the future of medicine.
Yeah.
You know, away from the medical industrial complex.
Correct.
Away from, you know, the customer model towards the patient model, towards the wellness model, not the healthcare model. Towards the healthcare model, the wellness model, rather than the
treat the symptom type model.
Right.
Treat
the
symptom
reactionary
and just keep coming
model.
back.
That's
exactly.
Right. I like what you do. Let's put it that way.
I appreciate it.
And then let's talk about this Aimovig.
Yeah, so Aimovig is a preventative medication. It can be used not only for chronic migraine, but it can be used for episodic. So earlier when we were talking about Botox, that is only for chronic migraine. It hasn't shown any benefit in episodic migraine. But Aimovig is a different preventative medication. This fits in that same class, that Gepant or the CGRP, or actually it's not a Gepant. It's just a CGRP receptor antagonist.
I was going to say, is it the Irinumab and the VIG, is it sort of part of that biologic?
Yeah, it is a biologic.
Class?
So it's a monoclonal antibody, and this antibody will block the receptor that usually the CGRP needs to bind to in order to cause a migraine. So it blocks that receptor, prevents that molecule from getting to it, and therefore can prevent the onset of a migraine.
Interesting.
And so it's a once a month injection. And it can be used for chronic migraine or episodic migraine. And, that's been a game changer for patients too, and it's been out on the market for a little over a year.
That's really interesting. And I think the fact that it can be both preventative and episodic is really interesting.
So I kind of putting the big picture together here is I have a lot of patients who have chronic migraine. I've done Botox injections for them over the year. And so they're, 15 to 20 days of migraines a month. Now all of a sudden become 4 or 5 days because, Botox isn't a cure. So those patients now fit in the episodic category because the Botox has got them out of the chronic situation. I'll give them, say Aimovig to prevent the episodic episodes. So if you want to look at it and how these are working together, I kind of see it as a shower. So you have a shower head, which is going to release water. Water is then going to get into the shower and it's got to go down the drain. So if you have a migraine, it would be the nerve is your shower head. It's got to release neurotransmitters, which is the water. Okay. And then the neurotransmitters of water got to get to the drain or the receptor to cause pain. And so Botox will turn down how much water comes out into the shower. So there's less water, but it can't prevent all the water from coming out. And then the Aimovig is going to block the drain so the water can't get to the drain, and that's how it prevents the onset of pain.
How about that? So that's a great analogy.
Yeah, I think it's very simple and easy to think.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So, ultimately, really the bottom line is, the more tools you have in your shower and the more accessories and, things you have in your spa, the better,
Exactly.
the more comfortable it is.
And then if you want to put
Well,
it, you can think about the G pants is when when something is a little bit more water is getting out for some reason, you've got an episode or an aggravation, it's gobbling up the water molecules to prevent it from getting to the drain. So that would be all three
bubbles.
of them
So
together.
that's kind of like the bubbles there. So yeah,
That's right.
So really, it's just more tools in the kit.
Correct.
And because not every not every nail is a hammer. Not every
or sometimes there's going to be different parts of the pathway that you can block the pain, and if you just do one, you're probably not going to be as effective as if you can block every single point in the pathway that you can.
The more
you can block
fences you have,
correct.
The
more fences.
Exactly.
That's the
The
best way to
more.
look at it.
That's right. That's right. Pain sucks. It's really what it comes down to, and
it does.
The more chances you have to block it, the better.
Correct.
Until you can.
The better success you'll have.
Yeah, until you can find a way to stop it for good.
Yes.
Ultimately, and if you can't, because sometimes you just can't.
Yeah.
You got to keep blocking it.
As I've always said, it's not pain cure; it's pain management, right? So.
How debilitating on the big scale is migraines?
Yeah, so you're.
I'm just saying, is it up there with? Is it like number 1, number 2, number 3?
Well, yeah, let's talk about that as far as big scale. We talk about disability and qualification and things like that.
So when patients go see their primary care, 50% of the time they're seeing them for a neuromuscular skeletal problem or a pain issue. The top two things that normally are the main complaints are lower back pain and migraine. And when you look at migraine, it is the second biggest cause of disability worldwide. And on most studies, you'll see that most patients miss 1 to 2 work days a month due to migraines. If you really poll patients, there was a study that looked at like special occasions, birthday parties or graduations or things like that. 25% of those patients will miss one of those activities in 12 months. It's a huge.
So it's the number 2 cause of disability worldwide.
Correct.
Migraines are
correct.
Is migraine? Is it a genetic thing? If my mom had it, will I get it?
Yeah, so they think there is some genetic predisposition. You do see that. A lot of times you would see it more in females than males, and that's still kind of seen in a lot of studies. You can have underlying health conditions that can predispose you to a migraine. We've seen hormones be tied to it sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen and heard that hormones for sure, and but
blood
genetics, you got blood. There are so many different factors, but the chronic side, you've got to figure there's some.
Yeah, there's something that's causing your trigeminal nerve, which innervates your entire head and neck area to become activated, and it just sends signals to all the nerves in the head and neck area to release these neurotransmitters to cause pain.
I'm going to throw something in here. I just got to throw it because I know we're only 3 minutes away. Kay and Meredith from The Other Place.
Yes.
I was talking with both of them, actually, because I had a epidural in my neck because I've got the 2, 3, and 4 issues. So anyway, in my follow-up from that, I normally see Kay.
Yeah.
And of course, she said you guys talk, and she knows about the radio show because she's always referred to me as Casey Kasem. But she said you guys were talking. But what prompted it all was I'd seen Kay for a while, and all of a sudden one day I went in and I was scheduled with Meredith, and I'm like, who's this Meredith? So anyway, he had that, and then when I was coming back following the epidural, I'm like, okay, why am I back with Meredith again? And she goes, why? Don't you like me? She goes, oh, we steal from each other all the time. We steal patients all the time. But Kay was she's just absolutely hilarious. And I know you guys all get together and have dinners and socialize there.
Correct.
But I finally said, that's it. So when I got done, I walked out, and I don't know if she told you what I said, but I walked out. I'm like, with me and Meredith walked over to her desk. I'm like, Kay, I know exactly what's going on. I don't want you to feel bad. She goes, what? I said, I know why I've been passed off to Meredith. I totally get it, and don't feel bad. I said, it's a fact that sometimes you must distance yourself from someone when you start having feelings for them. she just about lost her keyboard right off her desk, and she just started busting up. But
So what Kate was referring to is 2 to 3 times a year, I'll host a journal club where we talk about challenging cases or new literature on how to treat specific conditions. And the one that she came to most recently is we did a journal club for migraine.
Oh, wow.
And that night, it was just more of a roundtable. We didn't really have any new research or anything to talk about. We just wanted people to bring challenging cases that we would talk about that we're having a hard time helping these patients. And then there was about 6 providers there, and we would all talk about how we would address it and give that person some ideas on, so the next time they saw the patient, to change their approach and hopefully get them a better result.
Wow, that's cool. You guys all talk amongst each other.
Well, you tell her I say hello.
I will. So anyway.
Well, Dr. Patterson, thank you for another excellent episode of Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists. We love this, and of course, we will have to get with, I'll have my people get with your people, and we will discuss extending this and see.
No, I think our plan is definitely, I plan on being here next month, the month after that, and the month after that. So
We'll let people know when your next training seminar is.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yes.
we will,
Not scheduled because of this, but when it does, let's let them know.
Sure. And thank you so much. This has been
thank
great, and we'll see you next month.
Hey,
new
sounds
topic.
great. Thank
you. Have a great one. Everybody, we'll see everybody tomorrow, same place, same time for Rush Hour. Everybody stay safe and healthy. We'll see you tomorrow.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.